so today we're going to talk about the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula is this giant x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. You do have to memorize that formula. That formula needs to be memorized. And the way to do it, if you look on the agenda, on the YouTube page, I put a video up there that has a song that will get stuck in your head. You can do it that way, but you need to find a way to memorize that. Okay? This part right here is b squared minus 4ac. We call that the discriminant. Okay, we call that the discriminant. Okay, so that's the discriminant. Okay. If we do that, and we get a positive number, that means we have two real solutions. If we do that and get the number 0, we have one real solution. And if we simplify that and get a negative number, we have no solutions. No solutions at all. We'll talk further about the discriminant in a little bit. Okay, let's go ahead and do some practice from the quadratic formula. Okay. When you're doing the quadratic formula, you need all numbers, a, b, and c. Okay? And everything needs to be on the left-hand side of that equal sign right there. So everything needs to be on the left-hand side besides 0. Okay? Once everything is on the left-hand side, then you need to identify your A, which is 1 in this case, your B, which is 4, and your C, which is negative 32. Okay? Once you identify A, B, and C, you need to go ahead and write down the quadratic formula. Again, it's x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay? From here, we're going to then substitute all of our numbers for a, b, and c into this formula. So it's x equals negative b, so b is right now positive 4, so it's going to be now negative 4 plus or minus the square root of b. A b again is 4 squared minus 4 times our a, which is 1, times our c, which is negative 32, all over 2 times our a, which again is 1 in this case. Okay? Then from there you're going to do you want to do everything little by little. So we're going to break it down. So we're first going to do we're going to do this 4 squared. For 4 squared, it's the same as 4 times 4, so that's going to give me 16. Everything else we're going to bring down. So it's x equals negative 4 plus or minus the square root, as our 16, minus 4 times 1 times negative 32, all over, well, we can do the bottom here as well. Okay, we're going to do that as well. Here, 2 times 1 is 2. So those are the two things I did. Then we're going to take this part right here and multiply it all together. Okay, so we're going to multiply it all together. So it's x equals negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 16. So we do negative 4 times 1 times negative 32, gives me positive 128. Okay, so it's plus 128, that's positive, all over 2. Okay, then we're going to do the addition. Okay, we're going to do this addition right here. So 16 plus 128 is 144. We're going to bring everything else down. Okay, then we're going to take this square root right here. We're going to take that square root right there. So the square root of 144 is 12. Okay, if you don't know that off the top of your head, we will do that. We do that in a calculator a lot of times. And when we do that in a calculator, we will get a, I will show you how to do that, just come see me. Okay? So now we have to deal with this, and that says plus or minus. So what that means is I have to split it into two problems. So one's going to be x negative 4 plus 12 over 2. The other one is going to be x equals negative 4 minus 12 over 2. And then you do each one separately. Let's do the first one. Negative 4 plus 12 is positive 8, and 8 divided by 4 gives me an answer of x equals 4. 8 divided by 2 gives me an answer of x equals 4. Then we're going to do the second one. We get x equals negative 16 divided by 2, which gives me negative 8. And those would be our two answers. That's our solution. That's everything we need to do. Okay, so that's the quadratic formula. Let's do another example. Okay. Remember, everything on the right-hand side must be moved to the left, so we got to take this 40 and move it over there. Remember, when you cross that equal sign, it then becomes negative 40. Okay? After everything on the left-hand side, we need to identify A, which is, in this case, 4, the first number. We need to identify B, which in this case is negative 27. And then we need to identify C, which again, in this case, is negative 40. Okay? So when you write down the quadratic formula, which is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. We're going to substitute our numbers in, so it's the opposite of b. So since b is negative 27, over here we're going to put positive 27 plus or minus the square root of negative 27 squared minus 4 times my a, which in this case is 4, times my c, which in this case is negative 40, all over 2 times my a, which again in this case is negative, or is 4. It's 4 in this case. Okay, from there, we're going to do this part next. So it's negative 27 squared, so negative 27 times negative 27. Which is 729. Bring everything else down. So x equals 27 plus or minus the square root of that, minus 4 times 4 times negative 40. All over. Don't forget, we're also going to do that bottom part down there. Here. So 2 times 4, which gives me 8. Okay? Then we're going to go ahead and do this part. So negative 4 times 4 times negative 40. 640. And again, we're going to bring everything else down. So x equals 27 plus or minus the square root over of 729 all over 8. Takes that 27 a little bit there. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and do this addition right here. Give me 1369. And we're going to bring everything else back down. X equals 27 plus or minus the square root of that over 8. And then we're going to go ahead and take that square root right here. So the square root of that is 37. So we get x equals 27 plus or minus 37 over 8. Right And here's where we're going to split it into two separate problems, because that plus or minus right here. So it's going to be x equals 27 plus 37 over 8. Or x will equal 27 minus 37 over 8. Okay. So we'll do the one in red first. So it's going to be x equals 64 over 8. So x will equal 8 here. On this side, we're going to get x equal to negative 10 over 8. When I divide it, I do not get a whole number. So if you don't get a whole number, you want to leave it as a fraction, but you should always reduce your fractions. So we're going to divide the top and bottom by 2. So x equals negative 5 over 4. Okay. Go ahead and do another example, another couple examples. Alright, everything is already on the right-hand side, so we just need to go ahead and now identify our A, B, and C. So our A in this case would be 3. Our B is 23. And our C is 40. Okay? And then after we identify, we're going to write down the quadratic formula. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay? Now we're going to substitute our numbers in. So since 23 is positive, it's going to be negative 23 plus or minus the square root of 23 squared minus 4 times my a, which in this case is 3, times my c, which is 40, all over 2 times my a, again, is 3. Okay, once I substitute my numbers in, I'm then going to go ahead and do these two things first. So 23 squared, so 23 times 23. 529. Bring down everything else. Okay. All over 2 times 3 on the bottom is 6. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and do this part. Multiply all those. So negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. Negative 12 times 40 is negative 480. We're going to bring everything else down. And then we're going to go ahead and do the subtraction here. Give you 49. We're going to bring everything else back down. So x equals negative 23 plus or minus the square root of 49 over 6. Then we're going to go ahead and do the square root. And the square root of 49 is 7. X equals negative 23 plus or minus 7 over 6. And then here, remember, this is where we separate, get to this plus or minus, so it's x equals negative 23 plus 7 over 6, or x equals negative 23 minus 7 over 6. So negative 23 plus 7, do the right first always, it's going to be negative 16 over 6. That doesn't divide, but it does reduce. We're going to divide both the top and bottom by 2. So we get x equals negative 8 over 3. Then we're going to do the other side, the green side. So we get x equals negative 30 over 6. So x will equal negative 5. Okay, we got another long example, and then the other two will be short. Right? So remember, we need to move this 4 to the other side because it's positive. It's now going to become negative. And now we got to identify A, B, and C. So A in this case would be 3. B would be 2. And C would be negative 4. Once we identify A, B, and C, we have to write down the quadratic formula. So x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now we're going to substitute our numbers in. So x will equal, since it's 2, it's going to be negative 2. That's what it says, opposite of b, plus or minus the square root of 2 squared minus 4 times a in this case is 3, times c, which in this case is negative 4, all over 2 times a, which is 3. Okay, again, we're doing these two together, so that would be 4. So x equals negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 minus 4 times 3 times negative 4 all over 6. Okay. Then we're going to do this part right here. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. Negative 12 times negative 4 is positive 48. So we're going to bring down the rest now. Okay. Then we're going to do our addition right here. It's 52. Bring down the rest now. The problem with that is this is not a perfect square. So when I do this, we're going to typically go 3 decimal places. Okay, so that would be 7.211, 3 decimal places. Okay, then because we have this plus or minus, we're going to split, so it's x equals negative 2 plus 7.211 over 6. And x equals negative 2 minus 7.211 over 6. And let's do the red first. So x equals 5.211 over 6. When I divide that, I get x is equal to 0.8685. Well, it says it wants our answer to the nearest hundredth. Hundredth is the second decimal place. So this 8 will round that 6 up to a 7. 0.87. Do that one. And on the other side, it's negative 9.211 over 6. Which is negative 1.535, again 2 decimal places, so that 5 rounds that 3 up, so it's x equals negative 1.54. Okay, the last thing we're going to talk about is the discriminant, okay, which we talked about at the beginning. The discriminant is just b squared minus 4ac. Okay, so we need to identify a, b, and c. So a is 3, b is negative 7, and c is 1. So let's substitute them into that formula. So it's b squared, so it's negative 7, squared minus 4 times a, which is 3, times c, which is 1. Okay? So negative 7 squared is 49. And 4 times 3 times 1 is 12. 49 minus 12 is 37. So since our answer was positive, that means we have 2 real solutions. And that goes off that chart we wrote at the very, very beginning slide. Alright, let's try another one. Okay, so it's b squared minus 4ac. You can identify a. A is 4. B is 28. And c is 49. Okay, so it's going to be 28 squared minus 4 times my a, which is 4, times my c, which is 49. Okay, 28 squared is 784. Okay, 4 times 4 times 49 is also 784. So when you subtract that, you get 0. If you get an answer of 0, like we did in this case, okay, so answer is 0, okay, that means you have 1 real solution. And if you would have gotten a negative on one of those, that means you don't have any solutions.